Hello, everybody, and welcome to Music Industry Insights Worldwide. And today we've got the awesome Mark Noble with us. Hi, Mark, how are you?
I am very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming along today, taking your time out of your busy Sunday to come and share some of your values and also what you do in the Arts and Culture Network, which is really why I wanted to have you on the show and to talk about your story and what you do. So,
Okay.
do you want to tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, and what you do, Mark?
I am from a place called Street in Somerset.
Yeah,
I was originally born in Hampshire, along the south coast. My parents were in the services,
yeah,
and I used to live by the sea, and storms used to come up the channel. Hence, I left Turner. Sometimes the flats would. My mum, as a young kid, I always used to sit on the table watching these storms come through.
right,
I think that stuck into my head. And then I started school at High. Now I'm living in Street
okay,
in Somerset. So the idea was I started drawing about 5 years old. The school spotted me, and we used to do butterflies. And there's this special tree used to be covering hundreds of billions of butterflies,
wow,
but obviously it was amazing. So I did butterflies, and right through I went. Then I went to specialist school because I am myself severely dyslexic and very autistic,
yeah,
and that's been a bad side and a good side of both what I know and what I don't know.
yes.
But I use art as a visual language. It's like a hidden feeling. It's your heart, your third eye's got to see your heart, your soul's got to.
Intuition, yes, totally
It's
understand.
like a Turner sunset or a Constable tree or day gases, Whistler's fireworks, something which is spiritual, which you can touch but cannot touch.
Yes. And that's why I wanted you on the show, actually, Mark, is to actually highlight the importance between disability and accessing the arts and how that can enhance your creative output. And also, there's a lot of us in the creative industries that suffer from disabilities. And I think that's one of the main points that I really wanted to highlight in this show is by having you on and talking about some of the work that you do around sustainability as well and the amazing work that you do. So tell us a little bit more about that, Mark, and how you got into it. Like you've talked about your as an education when you was younger, you got spotted, and how long have you been doing it for now?
Well, and the most important thing when I got kids and when then I split up with my partner,
Yeah,
then the most important thing, then I went on to Strode College, found art modules. I was finding it really difficult. That's when they spotted they give me tests and things like that. And I was in tears because I knew there was something not quite right. It's like unlocking a door. You see the bad side, you see the good side.
yeah,
Then I went on to Bath Spa, and that's my mom that the juices started to really flow.
okay,
And to capture one picture, I walked down to the beach in a storm tent gown, got completely soaked to get the experience of a storm.
right, okay.
And
You put yourself into it.
Turner did it in his paintings. Apparently, he climbed him up. He went a mask of ship. Someone tied him up there, and
Wow,
some say he put his head through a chain to catch the that almost divine quality.
wow. That must
So
be guts as well. I won't be able to do that myself.
it's just sheer, I think it's sheer audacity to do that, to have that one with the natural world and bits and pieces.
Yeah. You've obviously talked about the dyslexia as well and having autism. Now, do you find that being in the creative arts has helped you kind of flourish? Because I think some of us struggle with the educational side of things. So do you think that's been kind of a way for you to kind of express, like you said earlier, express your emotions, but also put it into something that's tangible rather than just something that's in your mind?
I think the most important thing was when I went to university,
Yeah,
even some of the top people didn't believe these problems exist.
yeah,
And it is a a very steep learning curve to break these taboos. To obviously, you know yourself, is we get it's we have a disability like spelling, arithmetic, and things like that. So
yeah,
working in a visual interpretation of the natural world that does help, which you must see every day with different artists. And in Bath, we 55% of the artists, these were adults, were had disabilities, dyslexia,
Yeah.
autism, and various other areas where I can painting can tell 1,000 words, but I can't even write 1,000 words.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I totally understand that actually. And when we talk about, obviously you've been in the arts for quite a long time. So how long have you been doing art for now, Mark?
Seriously, for about 15 years.
Okay.
And it's obviously I was a worker. I worked as a funeral director as one of my jobs. So
Right.
I've had a lot of jobs and obviously bring up family. But it's really obvious now I'm talking to you. It's taken on to, well, like you. It's when I saw your profile, wow, it's
Oh,
taken to another level, and it's working. It's to change the world. To change my aspects of the world.
brilliant. I love to hear
Yeah,
that. And obviously, when you was going through your education,
yeah.
neurodiversity wasn't really touched on or talked about, and not many people knew about it. So, how did that impact you and how you've navigated the art sphere and culture as well? Because I think art has a massive impact on culture and how we understand ourselves, right? So, how did you navigate that, Mark?
Wow, that's a good major. Well, certainly in the 70s, it wasn't real life. Because I went to a specialist school called Avalon School in Somerset.
Yeah,
And at that time, when we left, it was called Every Name Under the Sun.
right.
Well, I won't repeat it on here.
Yeah,
And one day we come on with people throwing stones at us.
yeah. So I'm sorry.
Actually,
It's not okay.
yeah, it's not okay.
No,
And certainly there's my daughter's dyslexic, my sons are dyslexic,
yeah,
partly. Is that there is a better understanding, but it's got a long way to go.
yeah,
It's a bit like opening a door with another lock and another lock. And it's to me, I cope. Sometimes I couldn't cope with it. So I've had my dark moments, and it's battling those thoughts and feelings and trying to get the right back up the right. You must know this yourself in your own field of expertise.
yeah. Totally agree. And I think, it's sad when I hear some of these stories that there is still that shame and that stigma. Like, even though, with
Yeah,
my story and being a trans woman as well, I think,
yeah,
when I transitioned, that was a taboo
yeah.
subject. And it's not something we really talked about because if
No,
we did, there was that discrimination and that stigma that went with it. Now we're talking about it a little bit more, but like you said, I think we still got a long way to go, but we're kind of trying to understand it a little bit more now. So how has that impacted you and your career and how you feel about yourself, Mark?
I think. Thank you for being so open. Again, the culture side. I think it's quite like art is a universal language.
Yeah,
I speak to people from Israel, Iraq, Russia, everywhere, except for the South Pole.
yeah,
So, yeah, it's still a learning curve, but I still get flat if I spell something wrong or get the right or looking at benefits and saying the wrong question, and if people just do not understand, and because looking through your podcast, how you cope and how you spread your happiness across the globe, that is the biggest gift that we've got. It's almost a divine gift.
oh, I really
Um,
appreciate that.
what I mean by divine, it's a divine spark in all of us. I'm not. I won't give it a name because I call it the great artist in the sky. That covers everything for me.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And I think for me, it's about giving people opportunities when I know how hard it is, especially in an environment that you're not always giving those opportunities or seen as equal. So I see everyone as equal, Mark, and I'm sure you do as well. Like I have empathy and understanding because of what I've been through, and that discrimination and that trauma is still there, but I just deal with it in other ways, and I try and elevate other people's voices and support other people's work because it is about collaboration, but it's also about learning and understanding. And, from the first time we spoke, you've been ever so kind. You've been sharing some of the amazing work you do with me. So, do you want to tell the listeners about the work that you do, Mark, and the sustainable work in the art
Right.
sector to the table at the
Definitely.
moment?
I start off with a journey. Um, Years ago, they sent Voyager to the outer edges of the solar system.
Yeah.
Earth was a tiny pixel,
Yes.
tiny dot of beautiness in this great cosmic dance we're all part of. And the environment is taking on a big role in my art. Of this, my greatest love is Turner. And through Turner went through huge changes in his career, from coal to steam,
Yeah.
and they had a lot of volcanic eruptions. Now you look at his paintings from Patchworth in West Yorkshire. There's a fiery sun, really fiery. Now, because Krakatoa blew up in 1850 something, and that's the reason why his paintings are so desirable, so real. Because and then Turner in his time, there's coming out of the Little Ice Age, which
Yes.
lasted 400-500 years. So the climate was. You look at his paintings, Dickinson's carols, they're all with snow in it.
Yeah.
Now we face the same issues, and governments don't want to know about it,
Yeah.
which is and they've known since they've known since the 18th century, unbelievably,
Yeah.
because top scientists in the 18th century said global warming. This is 80, and the oil companies, they knew about it, and they can do it. Like after the Second World War, America brought all the money and put Europe together within a couple of years. They can do it.
Yes.
But how I started on recyclability, my first exhibition was at Wells Bishop's Palace, and there's a storm overnight. It blew some bark off a tree,
Okay.
and I left that for a couple of months, and then I decided to paint on wood.
Oh,
So
wow.
when I paint on wood, I have a agreement with the natural world. I let the rain and the wind and the sun do work on it.
Okay.
So, and what we did around Wells, we put all wooden pieces up, and it went everywhere, and we let the weather take its toll. Someone was protected, some weren't. Some faded, some stayed. So
Yeah.
that's about natural decay, rebirth, death. The whole lot is a never-ending circle in The Lion King.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, the lampshades, that started late. I was in Glastonbury doing teaching at St John's.
Yeah.
A lady gave me a lampshade. She said, "Here, Mark, here's the lampshade." And she said, "Do something on there." So I did. And it hasn't stopped since.
Amazing. So you get recyclable lampshades and you kind of put some artwork on it, and then you let nature help you to create the finished product.
Also, I paint on tables, old frames. So some of the work is obviously sometimes you've got to spray it. That's the only problem. But I
Yeah.
try. What I do when I work outside. I work outside, and I use rainwater. I use all natural elements. So
Okay.
some paint. So I let when the rain goes over the paint, they crinkle, and that creates patterns of it in their own rights.
That's beautiful. And nature's having its input in your artwork. So you're doing a collaboration all the time with Mother Nature, which is amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah, it's what. And again, I'm hoping with working now, I want to work with you, is to really cooperate on something massive to get these lampshades sorted and get people talking, to
Yeah.
use environmentally friendly materials, so sustainability, upcycling, the whole lot. And the world is doing a lot. There is China is top of the greenhouse, the solar panels, so things. But
Right.
there needs to be more. There needs to be more movement.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't choose China for a political reason, but we do need to really, you know yourself, we need to really press the button, the
Yeah.
firing rockets.
100% we do, because our children are the ones that will suffer, and so does nature, actually. And I think this is another great point that you make, is we're not really doing enough around sustainability and ensuring that we do look after the environment that we are all living in, because we're all part of that, aren't we? We're all part of that massive ecosystem. And if we're not looking after it, it's actually, we're going to lose it if we're not careful.
Well, as far as we know, in the universe, we're the only inhabitable planet.
Yeah.
Now, that's another question in its own right. Now, are we alone in the universe? That's for another day.
Yeah.
But I've got a sneaky feeling the universe is full of life.
I've got a feeling that that's partly true as well. I think, we haven't explored everything, and let's hope there is more life out there. But,
Um,
where did you get the idea from for this sustainable artwork? Where did that come from, Mark? How did you think about that?
come from my soul,
Beautiful.
because I got two grandchildren,
Yes.
and I got two grown children, Red Cheryl and Clive, and I got Rupert and Isabel.
Lovely. And I've
But
never,
can I tell you?
course,
Sorry,
no,
go ahead.
you go ahead first. It's absolutely fine.
I do apologise.
No,
There was I was part of an art group, and this is power of art. We had a place in the street in Somerset,
yeah,
and this woman come in. She was quite high up in society, and I had one of my Turners. I had a painting of Margate,
beautiful. Yeah.
and it was a sunrise or sunset. And she walked around and looked at the table, and suddenly she started crying.
Oh,
And this has happened before, really, really crying.
mhm,
And I cried, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" No, no, no. She said, "Nothing's the matter. It's 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 your sunrise or sunset brought back all my memories because I lived there as a child between 7 to 10 years old." And she was welled up with so much tears. He said it was the colour theory, the actual how I communicated. So she communicated through emotion and feeling.
mhm,
I couldn't believe it. And it was just such a human response. And this has happened several times with the work I do.
yeah.
I did a pencil sketch one day, and I was in a waiting room somewhere, and this guy, he got so emotional over it. He said, "Please, could I have it?" I said, "Of course you can." So that's
Amazing.
just one small piece of amazement and art. And I see your work. I see happiness in it, joy in it. It's
My
you've got to
love.
be
Yeah.
your love, and you've got to feel that. You've got to touch it, but it's got to have mystery. It's got to have it's word sublime is terror and beauty are side by side. We see the great Renaissance in the world, and then we see the Ukraine. So it's an uneasy bedfellow, but it's you do touch the divine every time you showcase what you do as an artist.
I think that's really a great point you make. And it's that emotional connection that we all have with art as well, isn't it? Like the creative sector, it's about that connection that we have and those memories that sometimes we cherish and then they get brought back when you see certain art or you listen to parts of a song. It kind of brings back that emotional kind of memories that you have or something you can remember as a child. And I think that's really, really beautiful about art as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I love. As we talked before, I love Enya
Oh, yes. We was talking about
and Caribbean Blue, and
this. Yeah.
um, I like Roger Whittaker's "A Sail Away." Roger Whittaker's "The Last Farewell." That's a tearful song for me.
Yeah.
And I like the Shadows' "Wonderful Land" and Apache. You just sort of you're taken to another universe, a spirit, a different spiritual plane.
Yes. That's
Uh,
definitely right. I think so. You're also an ambassador as well, aren't you, for the arts? Do you want to talk to us a little bit more about that and the teaching that you do, Mark?
yes, of course. I'm no. I can you say is it outside in,
Outside in, yeah,
and also for Creative Portal.
yeah,
Um, with both of these, they focus on disability,
yeah.
blindness, people who can paint with their mouths, they cover the whole genre, that
So,
N-word, the whole lot. And it gives artists a lift up, it gives them a boost. And every month with LinkedIn, with Insider, I have a meeting with everybody. We've got a meeting this coming Thursday. We've got to talk about work. We've got to talk about pushing the boundaries because we won the Queen's Award
congratulations.
for community art, community programs, and and I think it's building that bridge and building that bridge internationally and giving artists a platform to show their work. That's so passionate. And with Creative Portal, it's slightly different. It's more music, and that's why I talk to you a bit later on that. That's a
Amazing.
fantastic. Sorry,
I said that's amazing. So you combine the two
that
together.
is Mike. Someone called Mike, but teaching, that is a fantastic opportunity. I teach memory classes, teach children, and I've one session with the memory classes. I did this heart, and it's a gentleman couldn't hardly do it, but he painted one for his wife. I
Oh,
thought, well, and then they it brings back some memories, and I think artistic people, we need all the support, and people like we can I say something slightly political?
Wish you can.
Is it's the arts of do not understand why the arts are pounded all the time. The money's taken away. It's this growth, it employs 5.5 million people,
Yeah,
and it's worth billions and billions, and I just do not understand it. But people like Creative Portal and Inside Out, and I work with Dot Art in America.
yeah,
We got several more meetings, and this is why I would love you to really. I can chat to you on another time, but
yeah,
I think with your magical powers, your artistic, the music would fit your genre, but that's for another day. But again, Creative Portal, Inside Out, being an ambassador is huge. And again, we talk about different art. It's different. It's Dadaism, surrealism, the whole genre of art, the
yeah,
whole ethos of art. It has a soul. It's got to live. It's got to breathe. It's again, it's from the great artists in the sky. However your spiritual side is, we've got to open these doors for people who cannot open doors. People in wheelchairs. Everyone's got equal right.
yeah,
We can't make it, but you know this yourself. You paint a fantastic picture on your CV, and it explains it. You can see your joy, your love of your art through your own how you portray the world through your creative genius.
yeah. That's so true. And Mark, how do you get funding, and who supports the work that you do? How do you sustain that as well?
I get working tax credits at the moment.
Yeah,
It's very, very difficult. I've got a long way to go,
right.
and it's again I've had funding for some schools.
Yeah,
Um, it's obvious we're going to, working and cooperating with artists like you
yeah. I
to
think that,
change the world.
yeah, it literally
Um,
is, isn't it? We're all in the same boat, actually, a lot of us.
yeah, but I got to make it work. It's my life ambition to make it work.
Um,
And it's had its tough days and its good days.
yeah,
But it's about sharing things together and networking together and cooperating together.
definitely.
Um, Definitely on that one. Yeah, it's we're using LinkedIn. I've volunteered to be an ambassador for another lot of charity, and it's getting yourself out there and getting yourself seen. But it hasn't been easy.
And do you find being part
Um,
of these art networks, Mark, gives you that sense of community and belonging?
yes,
Yeah, which I think is really, really important. And what's kind of the equality and diversity inclusion like over in the art sector where you are at the moment? Do you find it's becoming more inclusive and they're doing more to
hopefully,
support disabled artists now?
hopefully, yes. But yeah, yes, I do believe that it's getting better, and having these chats and having these talks and bringing these things out. And you say you must notice um, uh, things in your sector, in your field.
Yes. We are doing a lot more talking about it and educating, but we've still got a long way to go. And excuse the beeping outside. I think there's a van that's a reversing, so it's kind of just throwing me off a bit. But yeah, we're doing a lot more kind of, talk and a work around equity and inclusion and trying to ensure that artists like ourselves are included and that we share this story, which is why I thought it's so important to have you on the show, and to share your story and to also amplify the work that you do. Because like you said, I think it's about collaboration and community.
Yes, yeah, I think I do believe so. I think that's so important. That's right. The reason I'm talking to you, I've touched no buttons. Sorry, I can't see a picture of me, but I thought I've got what I needed. I do. With dyslexia, you do get nervous.
Yes, I do all the time. Literally, I've got my hands down here and I just twiddle them, or I wear my sunglasses sometimes. Trust me, I get it, Mark. Don't worry. It's totally fine. But if we go back to the kind of equality and diversity at the moment, do you think that we're doing enough, or what would you like to see improve in the next couple of years to support more artists like ourselves into, becoming more successful and getting that funding that we need sometimes and that
I think
visibility?
I think with the Arts Council, it's got to be less bureaucracy, a
Yeah,
lot more understanding, telephone calls. and proper clear messages instead of being, I would put you on a line and go through thousands of different options. Yeah, I think there's a long way to go, and I think more investment needs to be put into the arts, especially disabilities. Obviously, like LinkedIn, Creative Portal, and Outside In. They can already do it, and there's offices. There's Babylon Arts up in Manchester.
Yeah.
There's Somerset Arts Works, and there's various galleries. Teaching from home, and having a more level playing field.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's something that we all need to be aware of as well, and supporting other people that might not be in the same, starting point as us as well, and having that understanding and empathy is very, very important. And obviously being in the arts, has that affected your mental health, or do you think that's helped you become more confident and more out there and more able to put yourself forward? Or do you think sometimes there's been setbacks?
It's oh God, a very good question. Yeah, I've had some really dark times.
Yeah,
Um, um, I'm not quite sure. Do you really go? I can't explain it. Yeah, it's dark days. Yeah, the art's not moving, and you turn to drink and things like that.
yeah,
But I don't drink no more. I gave that up because that is I see so much. It's fate worse than death drinking.
yeah,
You're chucking everything away and drink it, drink and drink. I've never taken drugs, never have.
yeah,
But I had a problem with alcohol, got
yeah.
that sorted out. I've been dry for 3, 4, 5 years now.
Bless you.
Yeah, so it's I don't know if have you faced challenges like that in your own
Yeah, I
life?
think so. I think, art helps me kind of put my work out there and also have that kind of let myself, let those emotions out. It's like an emotional release and also being me. But I do think sometimes there's a lot of stigma and discrimination, and it's a slow road at times. And I think that can be frustrating. The funding could be frustrating. And obviously the networking sometimes that can, because it's like we're working all around the clock in different time zones and meeting different people. So it can be challenging at times, but I do mindset, positivity, affirmations, meditation. I try and do all the positive things, and I do therapy as well. So I do use music as a form of therapy, but I do also go to therapy as well. I think it does help me. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds jolly good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's having that really self-belief, self-strength and things like that.
Yes. 100%. Well, I was going to say to you, Mark, we're running out of time. We've got about 8 minutes left. So I'm
Yeah.
going to leave a description with all the bits and pieces about you. But if anyone wants to connect with you, find out more about the work that you do, find out more about obviously your lampshades and your artwork, and also
Yeah.
the ambassador roles that you do you want to tell us a little bit more about that and where we can find you?
Well, I've right. Bear with me.
No worries. It's all right.
It's to look at my website is
Yeah.
www.martinoart, and Inside Out is on all my LinkedIn profiles,
Okay.
bits and pieces like that. Do you want my telephone number or not?
I'll tell you what, I'll leave your email address and your LinkedIn profile. And obviously your artwork, is that on your main website, Mark, where people can look at your artwork and see what you've been up to?
Yes, all my details are there, and what I'm doing, how I'm doing, talking to talking to everybody. Yeah, everything's your website, LinkedIn, Creative Portal.
Yeah.
I think that's a fab one. That's a brand new site that connects gives adults, children with disabilities, and I think that's really brilliant. That
Thank you for that. I'll leave that in the description as well below once the
yeah.
podcast is released. And also I've got some major wins and successes that you've also had as well. Do you want to share a bit about that, Mark?
Well, the major one is living, I think.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest one is the Queen's Award and being ambassador. But I got to double the effort now and really push, and let everyone celebrate the arts and the creativity and things like that.
Yeah. And I saw your art that's been not just in the UK, it's around the world, isn't it? Your art's getting showcased around the world and touching many people's hearts. So I just
Oh
want to,
yeah, the one in Japan. I think I know you got that detail. Yeah, I got an exhibition in Tokyo at the moment.
Yeah,
That's an abstract piece of art.
fantastic. So you are
It's
getting
a
out there and you're getting your work's getting out there, you are getting seen and you are getting noticed. And I just want to say a massive thank you again for just coming along, sharing your story, being an inspiration and a guide to all of us, for being so kind and considerate and just being you, Mark. I really do respect you so, so much. You've been ever so kind. And to just spend your time just to talk to us and share more to help other disabled artists is fantastic. Thank you
I
ever
think
so much.
thank you too, and it's really, really an honour to meet you. And I know it's having that creative vision for everyone.
Yes. Well, we'll
You
definitely
know,
have the chat and I'll see how I can help you with getting this artwork out there and obviously collaborating where any way we can, because I think you're absolutely
I'm,
fabulous and personality does count. So I just want you to know you've
I'm
just got such an amazing personality. You're so warm, you're so kind. And thank you for always just sending me a little message and just being you. I appreciate it so much.
okay. I chat to you very soon.
You will. I'll speak to you soon, Mark.
Okay, bye.